This is the last walkthrough for Lab 1, and we're at Part C. The goal here is to take program add4.cpp and transform it into add5.cpp. When we think about it, what does it mean? Well, it really means that we must, instead of adding 4 numbers, we want to add 5. So let's take a look at the program. I'm going to use Pico so we can look at the program. And let's see what's involved. Well, the program needs to be modified so that it has the right name. The purpose has to be modified. And the way that we solve the problem has to be modified. Instead of using 4 variables, we now need 5. So we need to add a variable, change the documentation. What else do we need to change? Well, we need to read 5 inputs, not 4. And we need to add 5 values, not 4. And those are the changes that we need to make. Okay? So let's try to make these changes in the C++ shell. So we're going to take what's in here. We're going to copy what we have here, add4.cpp. And we're going to copy the text using the mouse. Copy it. Go to the C++ shell, delete everything there, and paste our new things in. I'm going to run it to make sure it still works. So we have a problem. Everything is fine. And now let's begin the process of modifying. The name of the file is no longer add4, it's add5. We don't add 4 numbers, we add 5. Okay. We don't have 4 variables, we have 5. And we're going to try to keep things lined up just for neatness. It's a good thing to practice. What else? This is pretty easy, isn't it? Yes, it's pretty easy as long as you don't break some rules. I'm going to break one rule just to show you what happens when you break a rule. We're going to say N5. I'm going to leave off the semicolon. Oh, brother. Oh, shoot, what did I just do? I don't know what I did. Dang. Don't know what I did. I'm going to leave off the semicolon. We're going to go through and add the 5th one in. And we're done. So we're going to try to run this and see what happens. Well, it tells me in line 41 I have an error because it seems like a semicolon is missing. Let's go to line 41 and line 41, expecting a semicolon before sum. What occurs before sum? Let's go backwards now. Let's go backwards. The lines above sum, this is a comment line, so it's ignored. This is a comment line, ignored. A comment line, ignored. A blank line, ignored. A blank line, ignored. So before the sum, something went wrong. So it says there should have been a semicolon somewhere before we hit sum. And where should it have been? Well, it really should have been here, because I left it out on purpose just to show you that you get an error when you leave out a semicolon. One of the most common errors is leaving off a semicolon. We'll explain more about that next week. So let's run it again. And it looks like it's right, but is it really right? I put 4 numbers in, and what's happening? It's kind of waiting on something. What's it waiting on? It's really waiting on the 5th number. So it sounds like the directions that you're giving the user is wrong, because instead of entering 4 numbers, you must enter 5. And let's try that. And let's say, aha, and see what we have here. All right, so let's take a look at the code here, and does it seem to match all that we want? Yes. Did you notice that it doesn't take a whole lot of time, but it does take a little thought before you go in and make changes? What's left for us to do? We must copy this file, Control A. You can actually do Control C now, right here. Go back in to, let's say, pico add5.cpp, and let's paste it in. Oh, scratch. Did we do it again? Did we do it again? Remember we said the window has to be big enough? Could we have messed this up? Let's just get out. Shucks. Let's cancel. And let's get out. Say no. Let's make the window just a little larger. Let's go to 84, 85. Let's do the same thing again and see if it will fit. And notice that the lines are lined up the way they should be. It's not disturbed. So be really careful about that one thing. It's a common mistake. So we're going to save that. We're going to compile it. How do we compile it in Unix? G++ file name. And let's just save it. Let's produce the executable file add5.run. Let's try to run it. We expect it to behave the same way it did on the web page. So 54543. And it looks like I have the right copyright. I have the right number of values. I read these many values. I produce the sum right. Have the copyright. So it looks like we have successfully written the program in the C++ shell. We've copied and pasted it into a file in Unix. And now what's the last part that we have to do? As you might think, the last thing we're going to do is submit these files. Add5.cpp and add5.run. So let's go ahead and copy this whole command and paste it and execute it. Do I want to remove it? Yes. Do I want to check the program for Lab1? Always say no. Later on, when we have automated graders, you will say yes, but for now we say no. All right. So with that, we have pretty much completed Lab 1. The last part of Lab 1, Part D, is the adventure that you must take alone, and you will find that you will use what you have done in this lab and in the Unix tutorial to solve Part D. Good luck.